Hi all, let us study about the important aspects of chemical safety. Chemical is nothing but anything which is having some reaction properties. We usually can see there is different types of chemical we come across day-to-day life. It may be a detergent, it may be a liquid chemical, it may be a solid chemical. Examples: sulfuric acid, nitric acid, citric acids, and whatever the lubricating oil is there, and grease. All these are chemicals. Different types of materials are used to prepare the chemical, and these are very reactive, and they will cause some hazardous situations for the workers who is going to work in chemical industries or chemical associated works. Let us see what are the different types of chemicals and how to handle them, and what are the safety precautions we have to follow. Let us study one by one. There are different types of chemical categories are there. Usually the chemical categories are depends upon the hazardous condition. One is corrosive hazardous condition. Usually you come across in mechanical equipments or in machines or vehicles over a long usage of time due to the moisture present in the atmosphere. They will be corrosive. Due to the corrosiveness, and we are going to come across some skin diseases. It may harm the health of the atmosphere. It may harm the workers who is going to work in that particular area. And second one is flammable. Usually, if you take the petroleum products like petrol, diesel, uh, kerosene, LPG, compressed natural gas, these are flammable chemicals. If you take a perfume, these are the flammable chemicals. These are going to cause some accidents. And toxic. Depending upon the toxicity, the chemicals are divided. Toxicity means if you take a sulfuric acid, if you take a phenol, if you take any different types of gases, so all these cause ill health to the humans. So it depends upon the toxicity. These are categorized. And another thing, reactive, depending upon the how it will react with another chemical, or how it will react with the human skin. So depending upon that one, the depending upon the reactivity, the chemicals are categorized. Usually the chemicals are going to react with the open atmosphere. Some chemicals reacts with some different chemicals. So usually these will cause some accidents. And biological, infectious. Some chemicals are infectious. They will cause toxicity in the biological environment, and these may lead to the hazards in the humans or living beings. And carcinogenic, some chemicals are toxic, cancer causing. Usually all the tablets and all the medicines are coming under the chemical sections. So some chemicals are going to react, and they will give a proper medication to the human beings, but some medicines or drugs, so that will cause adverse effects on the human health. So depending upon the carcinogenic property or cancer causing property, the chemicals are divided. And radioactive, usually we know that in the nuclear reactors, uranium, plutonium, all these are radioactive materials, and these will cause some adverse effects on human health, and it will affect the atmosphere. So that's why, depending upon these properties, corrosiveness, flammability, and toxicity, reactive, biological, and carcinogenic, radioactive properties, depending upon these properties, the chemicals are categorized. Let us see what are the physical states of hazardous materials. The usually the chemicals are maybe in the form of liquid, or maybe in the form of solid, or maybe in the form of a gas. So these are the three states in which the chemicals exist. And some chemicals are in the form of vapor. If you see the refrigerant, freon, artol, the refrigeration, you can see usually it will in the liquid form, and after evaporation state it will go to the vapor form. So that's why depending upon the state of the chemicals they are categorized. One, they may be exist in a liquid, they may exist in a solid, or they may exist in a gas, or they may exist in a vapor form. Let us see how to handle the chemicals properly. Usually, we have to take safety precautions before going to use any chemicals. We have to take safety precautions before going to handle any chemical. That means the worker or operator or any human being who is going to come in contact with the chemical, he should know what does it mean and how it will react with the open atmosphere, and whether he has to use the safety gloves, and what are the equipment he has to use to hold that particular chemical, and how it will react, and which are the different materials with which it can react, how fastly or slowly. So these are the things the worker should be take care of, and he should be trained properly before going to handle it. So we have to use the safety precautions, like we have to wear the safety gloves, we have to wear the eyeglasses, we have to wear the personal protective equipment, we have to wear the shoes. So all these precautions we have to take, and whatever the chemical storage space is there, and we should know the property of the chemical, and how it is stored, and how the lab should be set up, and whether the room should be closed or it should be open, ventilated, air protected. So all these things we have to take care. And second one, always follow the procedures. So we have to follow the safety rules and regulations, how to handle it and how to use it, and how much quantity of chemical should be mixed with another chemical. All these things we have to follow, and we have to use the labels written on the chemicals. So that means the chemical is meant for which purpose, whether it should be used for a uh, treatment, or it should be used for general use, whether it should be used for a cleaning purpose. So all these things will be labeled on a particular chemical and its reactivity, and how much temperature it should be stored. All these things will be labeled properly. And one more thing, keep yourself and work area clean, and we should be clean enough, and we should keep the work area very clean in order to use the chemicals, and we have to plan properly before going to use the chemicals. And how it will affect the human beings. That means, one, through the inhalation, and through the injection, and through the absorption, through the injection. So these are the four modes where the chemicals are going to affect. If you take a man is drinking some liquid, it may be juice, it may be some drinking material. Mm, Through the inhalation and through the injection. Through the inhalation means in a medical industry where the tablets are manufacturing. Through the powder form of inhalation, it may affect the human workers. Through the ingestion, through the some modes of taking the liquid items, it may be contain some chemicals. So through that one you may get ill health, and through the absorption and through the injection we are going to get the chemical hazards. And symptoms of possible overexposure, that means over a long exposure to the chemicals. So we may get eye discomfort, and breathing difficulty, and we may get a dizziness, we may get a headache, or you may get a nausea. So all these are the possible symptoms we will come across in contact with the chemicals. And sometimes vomiting, sometime we will get a skin irritation. Usually if you, with the bare hand, if you touch the phenol, the skin will be become numb, and the skin disease will come. So like this, skin irritation problems will be there, vomiting will be there, headache will be there, nausea will be there. All these are the uh, symptoms we come across in contact with the chemicals. Incompatible chemicals, that means flammables and oxidizers, flammables may catch ignition at any source, and incompatible chemicals includes acids and cyanides. So acids and cyanides are very dangerous to the human health, and strong acids and alkalines. So these are mainly used for industrial purpose. These are not for any treatment or other things, but these should be used for the mechanical industry or any other industry application oriented processes. And concentrated acids and water and organic solvents and corrosives, so these are coming under the incompatible chemicals. Again, the corrosives and other reactive materials, so these are coming into the incompatible chemicals. And agencies that regulate the hazardous chemical storage. And next thing, how to handle the chemicals. What are the different agencies that will govern the rules and regulations of the chemical materials, and how to store them, how to use them, what are the safety rules to be followed. So all these are regulated by OSHA, that means Occupational Safety Health Administration, and another authority called National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, and another association, Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and another agency, Department of Transportation, DOT. So these are the four agencies that will regulate the hazardous chemical storage, and these will impose some rules and regulations to store the chemicals, and what are the safety rules to be followed. All these are imposed by these agencies. And the handling of flammable chemicals. These are the different types of methods or procedures while handling the flammable chemicals. We have to keep containers closed when it is not used. That should be closed, and otherwise it will react with the open atmosphere. Keep away from the ignition sources. Some chemicals will be flammable. If any small amount of fire is ignition source is there, that will catch the fire. So that's why we have to keep away from the ignition source. Avoid contact with the incompatible materials, like we discussed the cyanides and other different type of incompatible materials. You have to avoid the contact with them, and only transfer to approved containers. So first we have to check how the chemical will react with the plastic container or any steel container, how it will react with the material in which we are going to store. So that should be taken care. That property of the chemical should be known properly, and then it should be stored, whether you have to store in a glass or you have to store in a metal container, you have to store in a plastic container. All these things should be properly maintained. And bond all the receiver containers. We have to bond them properly, we have to seal them, and clean up the spills and dispose the waste properly before going to store them. And these are the different safety rules and regulations. Proper storage of flammable chemicals. Ensure that the storage areas meet a regulatory requirement governed by the OSHA and FSPA and other regulatory bodies. And we have to replace all the bunk caps and drum vents after receiving the containers, and ground all drums properly. All the drums should be properly mounted, the proper grounding. Store quantities in approved storage rooms in cabinets, and store only in small quantities. So this is how we have to store the chemicals. And the general safety tips includes: never eat, drink, smoke while using the hazardous chemicals. So that may react very fastly. That's why we have to avoid eat, drink, or smoke while working in a hazardous chemical atmosphere. Use of personal protective equipment like goggles, shoes, aprons, and personal protective equipment, gloves, eyeglasses, and helmets. So these are the personal protective equipments. Make sure all the chemical containers are properly labeled. Proper labeling should be there, indicating what is the chemical present in a container and how it will react with the different chemicals. So what is the ignition temperature, and at what temperature it should be stored. All these things should be maintained properly. Always wash after using the chemicals, and these are the general tips. Coming to the contamination, never smell or taste a chemical to identify it, very important, and know all the emergency procedures and equipment. Always read labels. MSDS people to use, that means material safety data sheets available in the industries or chemical industry. We have to use them properly. What is the chemical properties, how we have to use, how to store, all these are properly mentioned material safety data sheets. We have to read them before going to use the chemicals. Store all hazardous chemicals properly, and always use the hazardous chemicals as intended. So these are the different chemical storage safety rules, and we have to follow to avoid the accidents. And coming to primary container labels, how to label the chemicals, labeling of chemicals. First, we have to identify the hazardous chemical, and appropriate hazard warning should be labeled them on the container, and name and address of the manufacturer or importer should be properly mentioned. Target organ effects, how the chemical is going to affect the human organs or any living beings. All these should be labeled properly. Coming to the secondary container labels, it is related to the combustible materials. That means how it will react and how it will catch the fire, and what is the flash point, fire point of that particular chemical. All these are mentioned. So before going to that one, identify the hazardous chemical, hazard warning information. All that should be maintained. And so before going to handle any chemical, we have to see the label and what are the warnings, safety rules, regulation, what are the procedure to handle the chemical. All these should be properly read by user. Then he had to take care of while in contact with that particular chemical. Handling the chemical emergencies. In case of emergency, how to handle the chemicals. No emergency phone numbers available in our workspace, and we have to immediately inform to the control room. Know how to control the spill, know proper equipment shutdown procedure, how to stop that machine, and in case of leakage of a chemical, how to handle it. And these are the some emergency procedures we have to follow. And no proper evacuation routes, assembly areas. In case of a large workplace, workers should know where the emergency doors exist and how to shut off the machines, and how to protect himself from hazardous and chemical conditions. All these things he should take care. Usually, recently we came across some very sad incident in Visakhapatnam. That means styrene chemical was released from my industry, and due to that one, 8 to 9 people were died due to the hazardous toxic gas that is released from LG polymers. So this will cause a loss of humans, living beings, animals, and this will affect the atmosphere. So these are the very sad incidents that will occur if you show the negligence in handling the chemicals. What emergency personnel should know, that means how emergency situation should be handled, and what the personnel who is going to work in that particular area, what he should do. Emergency cleanup or disclosure measures should be done. Required protective equipment should be available. Use the cleanup equipments and firefighting systems. First aid kit should be available. There should be fire extinguishers, and there should be water firefighting systems should be available in the industry. So all these things should be made available. First aid for chemicals in the eyes. Uh, in case of emergency, don't rub the eyes. Hold eyelids open and flush with water for 15 minutes. Be careful not to contaminate the other eye, and seek additional medical attention. And after that one, flush area with the lukewarm water for 15 minutes. Remove clothing, jewelry from the burnt area, and seek additional medical attention in case of some chemical accidents. In case of a person who is met with a chemical accident, he is considered as a victim. Move a victim to a fresh air. He should be uh, taken out from the working area. He should be made available in the atmosphere. And, he should get open fresh air and get immediate help from the medical department, and he should be taken care to the hospital immediately. Uh, First aid for a chemical ingestion. Induce vomiting only if he told that he has. That means while the workers or some persons who is going to work in a drug manufacturing companies, medicine companies, somehow if they swallow or if they absorb some chemicals unknowingly, at that time forceful vomiting should be done for that particular victim, so in order to remove that particular chemical. And what a proper medication should be given to him, and a proper medical procedure should be followed fastly in order to avoid the reaction of that particular chemical into the human organs. So these are the safety rules and regulations, and how to store the chemicals, and how to label the chemicals, and what are the personal protective equipment should be used for a chemical materials handling. So these are the things we have studied here, and these should be followed properly in order to avoid the accidents. So these are the things usually governed by some occupational safety health administrations and World Health Organizations. What are the safety rules and regulations are given by them? They should be maintained properly. In case of any emergency, or in case of any human loss or death of a particular persons, uh, the proper insurance should be claimed for that family properly, and all the safety rules and regulations should be maintained properly not over the accidents, and proper supervision of the work area should be done through the CCTV and all, and emergency department should be available in case of small accidents, and all these things should be maintained properly. So these are the safety rules and regulations which should be followed properly in order to avoid the accidents. Thank you, and have a good day.